2 months ago, Pokemon Champions landed on your phone, and the pitch was simple: take ranked battles anywhere. This week, buried inside a season announcement, Play Pokemon quietly told competitors that phone players don't matter anymore. At least not if you want to compete at the highest level. Let's talk about what changed, who would actually hit, and why I think it matters. Play Pokemon published their 2027 rulebook for the 2027 season. Buried inside it was a new device policy. In 2027, the only eligible devices will be Switch 1s and 2s. No phones, no tablets, nothing on the list, nowhere mentioned. To be clear, this isn't the same old no phones at the table rule that it's been standard for years, but rather no phones to play Pokemon Champions on, which is different than previous years where the Pokemon titles were only available on Switch. Well, nobody at Play Pokemon has stood up and said mobile phones are banned. Well, the policy doesn't officially forbid mobile devices. It just does not officially include them for competitive VGC play. So, who it actually affects? If you are a casual player, grinding the ranked ladder, and you only have a phone to play on, well, you can't unfortunately use that phone to play in official Pokemon tournaments that are leading into the competitive circuit. So that would be your locals that are Cups and Challenges, regionals, internationals, and worlds. So if you're someone who just uses the phone app and you play on the go, play in your cars, you're waiting to get to work and someone else is driving, make sure someone else is driving. You are unaffected if you have a normal Switch. But if you are a mobile-only player, you are going to have to get a Switch if you ever want to compete in the official VGC circuit. The astute among you may ask, why in the world would they make this change? Like, what's the reason? Do they just want to sell more consoles? Do they just want the stream quality to be better if you get chosen to play on stream at a regional? What do they actually want out of this? In my opinion, I think there are two reasons I can think of for why they would go down a road like this. The first one I can think of, when you are at an actual big regional, the network you connect to is a wired network that I can only imagine would be a bit of a nightmare to get running with a bunch of Switches and phones and tablets, both Android and iOS, and having to support Switches. When you're trying to prioritize the Switches and gameplays and people are plugging into those networks with other devices, you don't want to have things that could like inject data into a network. If you could somehow make a roundabout way about it, I think if you just have only Switches getting onto this network, it'll make things better. Like, you don't have to worry about other devices getting onto this network. You can just prioritize Switches and Switch 2s. The other side of that is it's a lot easier to cheat on mobile, where you can have damage calculators. Like, if you've been on Twitter at all, you've probably seen some people who run on mobile and they have a little overlay app that can give you a rough estimation about like how much damage you're going to do, like based on like what it thinks your opponent's set is. And the other factor would be like if you're playing on a phone and like say your friend is behind you, or you're playing your opponent and their friend's behind them, they're watching your match and they know what to do but you might not. They could text you, but they could text your opponent and a little text message would come up like use earthquake, and like you don't know that happens. They're just behind them sitting on their phone twiddling away, and you don't know that they interfered with your match, but they could cheat and you wouldn't know it. So that's why I think there's solid enough reasoning to not let mobile devices be used in competitive play. I don't think they're just trying to like get more Switch 2 sales, because you can play in Switch 1 still. You can get an after or like off Facebook Marketplace. You could get a Switch 1 for like $120, just as long as it's not modded. You can use it in competitive play. So that's my take on the phone ban. If that ever changes, I will make another video covering it. If you want to learn more about how to get into your local VGC scene, click this video right here, and that'll give you more information on how to find some locals and local tournaments and have some fun with your local VGC competitiveness. Bye.